He spent years crushing my confidence, mocking my worth, and telling everyone I'd be nothing without him, and yet, for all the cruelty he poured into my life, he never realized one truth. The most dangerous thing a person can underestimate is a heart that refuses to stay broken. The night I finally walked out of his life forever was not sudden. It was the crescendo of a storm he had been blind to for years, a storm I had quietly nurtured while pretending to be fragile. He thought he owned my mind, my ambitions, my very soul, but the reality was that every insult, every humiliation, every whispered "you're worthless," had been shaping me into someone unrecognizable to him. Someone untouchable, unstoppable, and most importantly, free. That night, he looked at me across the living room, drunk on ego and arrogance, his smirk fading as he realized that for once, I was silent, not out of fear, but out of calculated calm, a calm that could destroy him without uttering a single word. He tried to break me one last time before I left, flinging my journals across the floor, the pages fluttering like dying butterflies. "You think you can do anything without me?" he snarled, rage flashing in his eyes. "You are nothing. You will always be nothing." I only bent down, picked up the scattered pages, and smiled. Not the trembling smile of the woman he thought he had crushed, but a quiet, knowing smile, the kind that announces quietly yet unmistakably, "This ends tonight." I slid past him, picked up my bag, and left, leaving his laughter echoing behind me, a hollow sound in an empty room. He thought I'd return. He thought he could scare me into staying. He was wrong. The first weeks after I left were a delicious torment for him. I stayed silent, vanished from his reach, and watched as he tried to make sense of my absence. The text started, mocking at first, as if he could make me feel small again through sarcasm. "Drama queen, running away again?" Then desperation. "You'll regret this. Come back." Then panic. "I didn't mean it. I was wrong. Please just talk to me." Every word, every attempt, fell on the cold stone of my independence. He had spent so long telling the world I was nothing that he failed to realize I had been quietly becoming someone everything. And when he discovered who I had truly become, that was the moment everything he thought he knew about life, love, and control shattered into dust. It began with whispers, friends who saw me speaking at an event, strangers who recognized me from an article I had written about reclaiming life after abuse, messages from people who had never known me asking for guidance, gratitude, and advice. I was everywhere he said I couldn't be, everything he said I wasn't, and everything he could never imagine. Videos, articles, interviews. Proof that the girl he humiliated had become a woman whose voice carried weight, whose presence commanded respect, whose life was flourishing without him. Every discovery hit him like a slow, twisting knife. But the final blow, the one that broke him in a way he would never recover from, came when he realized that I had grown beyond the need for him entirely. I wasn't bitter. I wasn't seeking revenge. I wasn't thinking of him at all. I had become someone entirely unshackled from the chains he thought he had forged. He had spent years defining my identity, only to watch it unravel completely, beyond his influence, beyond his reach, beyond repair. Months later, I received word that he had come to one of my public speeches, desperate to see me, to grasp for remnants of a control he could no longer claim. I saw him through the crowd, standing alone at the back, his eyes wide, unblinking, drinking in everything I had become. He was pale, thinner, smaller. Every ounce of his bravado had been stripped away by the truth he refused to face. I didn't need him. I had outgrown him. I had eclipsed him. And there, in that hall full of strangers applauding my every word, he realized that the woman he had attempted to destroy had become untouchable, radiant, unstoppable. He approached me afterward, hesitant, broken, shaking like a man facing a storm he cannot weather. "Maya!" His voice cracked, fragile, foreign to my ears. I didn't know. I had no idea. I studied him, silent, letting him feel the weight of every lie, every insult, every year of cruelty he had piled on me. And when he begged, when he reached for something, anything, he had already lost, I simply said, softly, deliberately, "You don't get to know me anymore." Those words fell like a hammer, shattering the fragile illusion he had built around my life and his ego. His knees almost buckled. His face turned white, and I saw it, the look of a man realizing the girl he thought he controlled had become a force he could never touch again. 4 years, he had fed on my insecurities, my doubts, my fears, claiming every weakness as proof of his power. But power is meaningless without respect, and respect, I realized too late for him, is earned in silence, in leaving, in survival. And I had earned it all without him, for me. I turned away, walking down the corridor as he remained frozen in the middle of the hall, staring at me, grasping at shadows, drowning in regrets. For years, he told everyone I would be nothing without him. But the truth, the devastating, unforgiving truth, was now etched clearly in front of him. I had become everything. Everything he had denied me. Everything he had tried to destroy. Everything he had lost forever. He tried to call me later, sent messages, emails, attempts to rekindle something that no longer existed. But I didn't reply. I had no obligation, no desire, no attachment to the man who had spent years erasing me from existence. I had learned the hardest lesson of all. Freedom tastes sweeter when the one who tried to bind you finally realizes, too late, that they never owned your soul. And the final crushing realization, what he could never unsee, was this. He had spent a lifetime building walls around me, thinking he could contain me, define me, humiliate me, keep me small. But walls can only hold someone weak. He didn't know that every insult, every mocking laugh, every word of cruelty was like water eroding rock, quietly, slowly, invisibly, until one day, the rock stands taller than the wall, untouchable, unmovable, free. And that night, as he watched me disappear from his life entirely, he understood with a kind of clarity that burns and blinds. The woman he broke was now the woman he could never touch, never reach, never hold, never control. And it was already too late to get me back. He had spent years crushing me, mocking me, shaping my identity with his cruelty, thinking it would bind me forever. But the truth he discovered, the truth that left him shattered and trembling, was that I had walked out not broken, not lost, not defeated, but reborn, unstoppable, radiant, and free. And in that freedom, in that triumph, I left him to live in the ruins of the life he had tried to steal from me. For once he realized, the girl he thought was nothing without him had become everything. Without him, beyond him, and far beyond anything he could ever dream to be. And the best part? I didn't need him to see it. I didn't need him at all. And that, the one truth he could never take back, would haunt him forever.